On this episode of Lapeef Let's Talk,
wanted to have a kid with her, and that should not have happened. That whole movie was a simp documentary, and that we pushed it into the forefront. And one of the reasons that it became one of the greatest movies of all time is because women fell in love with the idea that Jenna could come back and become and redeem herself from her hoish ways, and Forrest was just a simp. And I'm advocating that nobody become Forrest. I want everybody to recognize Jenna as the hoe that she is.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We're no longer going to let these movies and society and all of these simp men determine the direction that men are supposed to go in. And that's why you get so much pushback from all of these men that then come up and say, yo, we shouldn't be like this. We need to do the best for ourselves. And you get a lot of pushback from women when in the reality is that it's been ingrained in us. It's been taught to you to be a simp. And that's what women expect today.
This is kind of what I was trying to ask Anton earlier before it got way derailed. But Anton, what do you think makes a man who, is in whatever position choose a woman who doesn't meet the requirements that are on their checklist? I think JR mentioned Megan Good's husband's checklist earlier or whatever. Why do you think that people do those types of things and then end up in certain situations?
Because I don't think that the men have done the work to really become the best version of themselves and understand the power that they have. Men don't even understand how great they are. And so often at times they find themselves in a position or, aligning themselves with people that's not aligned with the direction that they're supposed to be going in. And so I think that ultimately it's a character flaw within the men. And a lot of times we cover that up by saying, well, they overly successful or what? How do we know that Wiz is not a beta? How do we know that Wiz is not a beta? I mean, he literally came behind and wifed up Kanye's former chick. Girlfriend? No, chick. Like real talk, like this chick, listen, she's inherently who she was. We wind up finding out all of the skeletons later. She walking in a slut walk. She got 21 Savage out there looking like a sucker.
Well,
like, no. Let's just be real. Let's break it down.
Didn't they know she was stripping and stuff? Everyone that dated her knew.
Correct. So how is he not a weak guy by marrying a stripper in the first place?
Okay.
That's my whole point.
That's the reason I asked that question in the beginning. Can a man change a woman's mindset?
JR, what do you think?
That's my whole point. What dude would ever marry a stripper?
I mean,
what real dude is marrying a stripper? Who? What real dude you know is marrying a stripper?
Well, I don't know many strippers or people married to them, but I'm sure there are people that marry strippers. I don't know.
You
answer that question too.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
The one that married Cardi. I don't know the rap people. Then Cardi.
I'm not saying nobody else I know.
And when she threatened to leave him, what'd he do?
I don't know.
What did
he? Know.
What did he do?
He was out there begging like Kanye, wasn't he?
Oh,
Well, when you wrong, what you expect? He was out there cheating.
I'm not about to be out here. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not begging under no circumstance.
When you do wrong, you just...
I'm not begging under no circumstance. No circumstance am I begging anybody.
Well,
JR, what do you think about that question? Why do you think that people who are in these positions, financially or whatever, and they can get, a lot of different types of people, why do you think that they choose certain women that you all...
Oh, I thought you had asked me.
No, I didn't. You answered it, and I'm just asking JR the exact.
But I was just going to go down the line of every last one of them chicks.
I mean, you have to look at people, man. I see people that you see more of who they are. And we always say this, like once they get the money, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't matter if you go to a different country. Me and Anton had this conversation. Go to a different country, change your setting, move to a different city. That's how you see all these women all the time talking about, I'm about to ready to move here because there's nothing here for me. I'm about to change my hairstyle because for whatever reason they changed their hairstyle. But it's like you still going to be you no matter what you do. It's going to take a lot more than changing your hairstyle or relocating to become the best version of yourself. It's not going to happen. Some people are just not going to get it. That's the reason why I asked that question is how long do you become who you, what was the question about the habits? At what point in time are you attached to that habit for life, so to speak? Like, what are the odds of you changing? It's not likely. The reason I ask these questions is because we're looking at these very relationships, and people just got to live in their own reality. It's just not gonna happen.
About it though, Jr. I'm literally the exact same person I was when I was 8, 9 years old. They was like, Anton is a rebel. He ain't listening to nobody. He willing to challenge. I'm the same person I was when I was a kid, literally. And so y'all are sitting here trying to tell me that people just automatically somehow wake up one day and then make the choice to change once they 40 and 50 years old. That is nonsense. I know that I'm inherently who I am. And so somehow, some way, I just lean into what I feel like is the greatest aspects or the greatest, parts of what it is that I am. And I champion that. I just lean into it. I ain't trying to change for nobody. Like I don't even believe that I can change. Real talk. I don't believe that I can change any more than I already have. I just lean into the parts that I feel like is the best part to me. And I leverage that. Kay, I know you the same. You got the same look that you got on that baby picture. I know you the same, Kay.
I gotta find that picture, man.
I know she just did the exact same pose that she did when she was a baby picture on the baby picture.
I mean
what?
I'm pretty sure you was a trip as a baby. You a trip now.
No, I was
changed. You want no trip?
No.
That's not a bad thing. I don't think what you're doing is bad.
Very well behaved, and I was
okay.
a joy.
Okay, what happened then?
Nothing happened. I'm still a joy, and I'm still very well behaved. I don't know why y'all are all silent on the top row.
We listening to you. We giving you time to talk, and now you don't want it to be silent.
I heard.
Listen, the chicks that's cussing guys out today, I guarantee you they was in high school cussing dudes out. They was twisting their necks, they was snapping their fingers, they was snatching dreams out the air. They become more of that. Look, a chick that was a hoe, right? She was for the streets. If she was a hoe in New York, just because she took a plane ride all the way over into Cali, you think that she changed? Bro, you can spot that. You can see who she is. She didn't change. She just took her with her. That's all it is. She took herself with her.
Imagine a woman just reckless, and then you wife her up, and you're not just as reckless as that previous guy. Imagine being there and not even knowing it.
You know what I call that?
Say more to the man.
It does. That's why we brought it up. Remember when he said, "Well, what do they all got in common?" And we talked to men. You know what I call that, Q? I call that the Forrest Gump effect.
That's what you call it, huh?
I call it the Forrest Gump effect. And I talked about this the other day because Forrest, he loved her and he was simping for her the whole time, and she was out here for the street. She was getting buzzed down and all of that. and then Janae wanted to come back to Forrest when she had hit the wall. And then Forrest decided that he wanted to have a kid with her. And that should not have happened. That whole movie was a simp documentary, and that we pushed it into the forefront. And one of the reasons that it became one of the greatest movies of all time is because women fell in love with the idea that Janae could come back and become and redeem herself from her hellish ways. And Forrest was just a simp. And I'm advocating that nobody become Forrest. I want everybody to recognize Janae as the hoe that she is. Nobody got time for that. We're no longer going to let these movies and society and all these simp men determine the direction that men are supposed to go in. And that's why you get so much pushback from all of these men that then come up and say, yo, we shouldn't be like this. We need to do the best for ourselves. And you get a lot of pushback from women when in reality is that it's been ingrained in us. It's been taught to you to be a simp. And that's what women expect today.